and that's when I just
that is
shut up and
absolutely
listen.
not true, and I can play the video.
Gentlemen. The court calls case number 25 RO 05684. This is People of the City of Royal Oak versus Joseph Stanley Nowitzki. You are Mr. Nowitzki, sir?
Yes, I am.
And Officer Hadrinos, can you simply identify yourself on behalf of the people?
Yes, Your Honor, Officer Hadrinos.
Thank you very much. The record should reflect that this matter is before the court on an impeding traffic citation, which the parties are likely aware is a 0-point non-moving violation. The record should also reflect that there has already been a $175 bond posted. So the court's going to explain the procedure real briefly. Mr. Nowitzki, this is an informal hearing. It's a non-criminal proceeding. Nobody goes to jail today on this ticket, but it's considered serious enough that Officer Hadrinos did in fact issue the citation on the date in question. And that date was September the 8th of this year at 12 minutes past 10 in the morning. It is said you were operating a 2013 Buick, red in color, on 13 Mile Road at or near Campbell in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, in some form or fashion, you impeded traffic. Officer Hadrinos' note, which appears on your ticket, indicates eastbound 13 Mile made prohibited turn at Campbell, posted no left turn due to the construction, which was fairly infamous at that period of time. So what the officer did do, Mr. Nowitzki, is on the roadway, rather than issuing a citation for disobeyed traffic control device, which is a 2-point violation, he chose within his discretion as permitted to him by command staff at the Royal Oak Police Department to issue the 0-point non-moving violation of impeding traffic. Notwithstanding any of that, today is your day in court. So you do have 3 options to protect your rights. You may admit responsibility in this matter. The court would simply hang on to the $175 bond posted, and that would close the case. You may admit responsibility with an explanation that you believe further mitigates your circumstances. Your third option is to deny responsibility. That is your right and your privilege. If you do so, the court would swear both parties under oath. The officer would testify first. They have the burden of proof today. Then it would be your turn to testify. Tell the court what you wish the court to know, and then the court would make a finding of responsible or not responsible. But please understand, because we are in civil court and not in criminal court, the burden of proof is a mere preponderance of the evidence, otherwise known as the featherweight test. So, as to impeding traffic in some form or fashion, do you wish to admit and explain, or deny responsibility?
I want to deny.
Very well. Please raise your right hands, gentlemen. You solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. The officer has the burden of proof. Mr. Nowitzki, then it'll be your turn. Officer Hadrinos.
Your Honor, on the date in question, September 8th, 2025, approximately 10:12 in the morning, I was parked on Windermere, which is one street north of 13 Mile off of Campbell. So I was on the west side, observing traffic for this intersection because there was a construction on 13 Mile. It was posted very clearly, no left turn from eastbound 13 Mile to northbound Campbell. I was sitting there observing the intersection. I observed Mr. Nowitzki's vehicle make that prohibited left turn. I stopped him on Millard Street, spoke with him. He stated he did not see the sign. He was very polite. I looked at his record. He had good driving record, so I gave him a break at the scene with impeding traffic. However, at this point, it should be amended back to the prohibited turn now.
The court can consider any motions relative to this matter after receiving the testimony from both parties. And is there anything further, Officer Hadrinos, you wish the court to know?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You obviously have the right to rebuttal if you choose to use it. And we turn to Mr. Nowitzki. Mr. Nowitzki, what would you like to tell the court?
Good story. I was proceeding eastbound on 13 Mile. It's 5 lanes. It was reduced to 2. Three lanes in the middle were being resurfaced. And so the sign that the officer suggested was posted 5 lanes north. He was out of the cone of vision. I sent you some photographs of this, Your Honor. It wasn't on the right-hand side. It wasn't on the left-hand side. It was 4 lanes left. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how loud my voice is. I can turn this down if you want me to.
Oh, no, it's not that. The court's been in court long enough to know that you obviously have some strong feelings about this, but the court just simply wants this matter to remain fair, square, and gentlemanly. So the court is now reviewing some of these photographs that were mailed to the court plus or minus September 16th of 2025. So you may continue, Mr. Nowitzki. Please continue.
Thank you. I took a very prudent turn, not imprudent. It was very slow and cautious. There was no cars coming westbound, 0 cars coming westbound. There was 0 cars in back of me for at least a half a mile. It was very, very light traffic. There was 1 car parked in the intersection with his left turn signal on, going southbound on Campbell, without any postings, without any lights indicating no left turn. I assumed that taking the same left turn in the same intersection with 3 lanes being available to park for traffic to clear was a prudent decision. Your Honor, it was not in clear, visible lanes. Now, here's why we're here. When we got to Millard, I did, in fact, say exactly what I just said. That was a very prudent turn. It wasn't visibly posted. I felt it was a speed trap. I saw the Royal Oak officer parked in Madison Heights, I believe, not Royal Oak. And so I asked him, is this normal? Is this all? It didn't feel normal. It felt like entrapment, if I may use a word without being a lawyer. And he said, Mr. Nowitzki, I'm going to cut you a break. And he described what he thought it was a break. And I said, wait a second. You're making this whole thing up. Wait a minute. This whole thing is being fabricated here for God knows what reasons. I don't know. I said, look at my record. I'm a very prudent driver. I don't. And he said, listen, if you don't calm down here, and I wasn't aggressive. I'm just as animated as I probably am right now, Your Honor. And he said, and this is why we're here. I could make you write a 500-page apology note to me if you don't accept this. And that's when I just shut up and listen.
Not true. And I can play the video.
Gentlemen.
That is an absolute lie.
Officer Hadrinos, you will have the opportunity to make rebuttal testimony at the appropriate time. But we have to, even though it's an informal hearing, we have to follow the rules of procedure as closely as we can so that we have a clear record in case this matter somehow finds itself before the chief judge on some form of an appeal. So, Mr. Nowitzki, if you can continue.
Well, that's all I can tell you is that we're here because of the 500-page demand. I loathe bullying, Your Honor. We're living in a very strange moment in time where it seems to become more and more acceptable. I refuse to accept it. We're here because of that exact statement, Your Honor. In good faith, I already gave you the check. It's not about the money. It's about making it up and then threatening me with authority that I don't perceive an officer has. And that's why we're here. And if we have to go to another court and get an attorney to represent this, because I'm telling you the gospel here, Your Honor, if I have to go someplace else, I will. I refuse to sit back and let this guy bully me or anybody else. And if that's what we have to do here, let's do it. I'm not afraid to go anywhere else. I'm not afraid to hire an attorney. I refuse to be bullied for something that I didn't do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nowitzki. Officer Thank you. Rebuttal testimony, Officer Hadrinos.
Well, I'm trying to bring up the Axon video, but I just got locked out of my account. But that's an absolute lie. That's not anything that I use. I don't say anything like that. Mr. Visky is absolutely lying. If I could bring up the video, I would show you. Can you look at evidence.com, Your Honor, there, or do I have to bring it up and share it?
Honestly, in
Because I'll bring up the
3.5
body
years,
cam because
I
that
have
is an
not done that.
absolute lie.
If that's going to take you a minute, which is fine, here's what the court can do. We can just take a brief adjournment. If it's just going to take you a minute or two to get back into that, that's fine with the court, because the court wants each party to have ample opportunity to make their statements to the court in full. So why don't we just break for a couple of minutes and you can continue working on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Officer Hadrinos, how's it going?
Apparently, administrator has to unlock it, and none are here right now.
Okay. All right. Without the view of the video, you already indicated that you believe Mr. Nowitzki was not being truthful with respect to the remark about something about a 500-page apology letter.
Well, that's
this
one.
is your.
That's one. The first one was that it wasn't clearly marked. I don't know when his pictures were taken, but I when I sit on those intersections, I make it a point to drive the way that the sign shows so that I can view and make sure that they are properly marked. And that was properly marked so that I could sit there and write an appropriate ticket. And then secondly, yes, that is a bold-faced lie that I told him he could write a 500-page essay or word essay or whatever apologizing to me. That is not anything that I would ever say.
All right.
And I'm sure the video will show.
Thank you. So that the record is as plain as it can be, what the court intends to do right now, and the court hopes you can see, is
I'd like
this
an
is actually
adjournment then.
this is actually Mr. Nowitzki's exhibit, and if
There's
that
the sign.
right, okay. So can you describe for the court what you're seeing and whether that comports with what you saw in person that day, Officer Hadrinos?
Well, I can't specifically say that that's exactly what I saw that day, but that sign is at the end of the intersection, right at where you would see it as you're driving. And then if you look, the left-hand turn signal is also blocked out with black covering.
So what the court wants the record to reflect, if it is so, is that this is the view eastbound on 13 Mile Road at Campbell, as you recall it, with the same physical features and barricades. Is that correct?
Yes, I can't speak for exact placement on a left turn sign, but it's still, that picture still clearly shows that, yes, at that intersection, you cannot make a left turn.
Okay. And is there any further rebuttal testimony?
Well, I'd rather you adjourn this now and bring it to another date so that I can show the video of, because
Okay.
I'm not going to let stand his accusations that I bullied him. I obviously was very cordial with him because I gave him a break. If that was the case, if I was bullying him, I wouldn't have given him a break. I would have given him the full citation.
What the court is going to do at this time is grant a motion to adjourn without adjudication. So the court is not making a ruling at this time. The bond remains in the court's escrow fund, and the court will indicate motion to adjourn without adjudication. The court can't tell you two gentlemen whether or not it will be in front of Judge Kowalkowski or Judge Meineke, but at that point, obviously, the city attorney would be represented by City Prosecutor Ryan Kaluzny. So as of today, the testimony has been received, but there is no ruling. The matter is adjourned to the formal hearing docket. Thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor. Will we